Today we're going to be talking about the law of vibration. Now, this is sometimes called the law of attraction, which is a term that I'm sure in this day and age you've come into contact with at some point or another. You know, all this hype about positive thinking and visualization, and it's great, but I feel like people don't really understand how the law of attraction works. So the first thing to understand is that this is a universal law. It's a law like gravity or electromagnetism, and it's working all the time and everywhere, whether you're conscious of it or not. For example, I could go around saying, well, I don't believe in gravity because I can't see it and I can't understand it. But that's not going to change the fact that if I throw a rock off a building, it's going to hit the ground. Every single time. Well, the same goes for the law of vibration, and this is the law that directs every event and circumstance that happens in your life. And it's important to know that this law works for you. This law listens to you, and it's directed by you, and it always says yes to what you tell it. So you might go, all right, Sophia, so you're telling me that I said yes to my car breaking down last week? And I'm here to tell you that on some level you did. See, the problem is we are not taught how to use this law effectively, because we have no idea how to speak the language of the universe. In the last video, we talked about how everything is energy, and because it's energy, it is vibrating at a specific frequency. Now with your mind, you have the power to actually tune into different frequencies that you can't see with your eyes. So for example, when you think about a beach home in the Bahamas that you'd love to have, and you imagine the idea of you going there with your family, and it's warm and it's beautiful and it's absolute joy for you. You're tuning into a frequency that you can't yet experience with your five senses, but that you can see with your most powerful tool, your mind. So then you might ask me, okay, Sophia, well, I think about my vacation home all the time and I really, really want it. So when's it gonna show up? And this is when understanding the law of vibration is so crucial. The law states that you attract what you are, not what you want. In other words, two masses of energy that are vibrating at the same frequency must be drawn to one another. And your frequency is based on what you are conscious of being. So for example, if I say, I am so full of joy, I'm tuning into a frequency of joy and therefore attracting to myself all experiences that make me feel joyful. The same way if I say, I never have enough. I'm conscious of not having enough and I'm on that frequency, and I will keep attracting circumstances to my life that prove that I never have enough. But I want you to be careful because I don't want you to confuse language with frequency. I'll give you an example. I could say, I have no more debt. As much as I'm affirming that I don't have the debt, what am I actually bringing my attention to? Debt. I'm making myself aware of debt. I'm conscious of being in debt. The correct thing to do would be to say, I am so abundant. All my needs are met with abundance. That's a positive frequency. So if ever you're confused, think about, what am I bringing my attention to? Because where attention goes, energy flows. Now as humans, we've been given the unique ability to be able to sense frequency and to change our own frequency. I mean, we do it all the time without even realizing it. The terms good vibes and bad vibes have become so normal in our culture that we don't realize that what we're actually picking up on is the speed that that person or that place or that circumstance is vibrating at. You know, when we feel things like love and peace and joy, that's good vibes. And then when we feel things like shame and anger and jealousy, that's bad vibes. It's the sixth sense that we never talk about, and I think a lot of times we're actually taught to suppress it. And that's our ability to feel things emotionally. That is our way of communicating with the universe, because the universe speaks in feeling. Now, I really want to stress the fact that you have the ability to alter your own frequency and therefore determine the events and circumstances that you attract to yourself at any moment in time. You have the ability to choose how you feel about absolutely everything that happens in your life. You have tools like willpower and imagination and perception, which allows you to give the worst possible meanings to the best things that happen in your life and the best possible meanings to the absolute worst things that happen in your life. The point is that you get to decide. You give life meaning. And I think it's important that we understand that our feelings are directing the events and circumstances we bring to ourselves, because if we did, we would live in a world with so much less stress and anxiety and worry. A great way to start the process of taking control of your frequency is with your thoughts. Because your thoughts influence your feelings, which influence your actions, which eventually will become habits, and your habits make you who you are, which is your frequency. So tomorrow morning, I encourage you to wake up and instead of the first thing you think being, ugh, not this again, to think, I am so excited to get out there and start my day. This is gonna be a great day and we're gonna celebrate life. And it might sound like you're lying to yourself, but just like that, you can change your frequency. And if you stay on that frequency for the rest of the day, you're gonna feel completely different. And if you love it that much, try it for the next 21 days. And then see how your life looks at the end of the month. Thank you so much for watching, and here is your reminder to enjoy every precious moment. For more videos like this one, follow @themindpalace.ca on Instagram, like @themindpalace.ca on Facebook, and subscribe to the Mind Palace channel on YouTube.